Welcome to Cage Minds. I'm Mika Frankl. Joining us all the way from New York, it's Tevin Dyce. Congratulations on the win this past weekend, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. I'm back on track, back in the winning circuit. I feel blessed. I feel happy, man. Just excited to get back into it. I want to keep it rolling and fight as soon as possible.
The foodie that you are, the first question that I have may not be the one you were expecting about food. I got to ask if this weight cut was harder than the last four because you were back home and all these smells that you had been missing were hitting the nose before you could eat them. How hard was this weight cut with all those sensories being set off?
Yeah, man. I'm a fat ass, to be honest, bro. And being in New York City with food is so like, I like Albuquerque. I'm not trying to diss y'all in Mexico, you know what I'm saying? But the food just wasn't my forte. It wasn't what I was really used to. But in New York City, oh my God, it's food everywhere. My mom's food, my aunts, my family. And I'm growing now, so I'm realizing I'm not a small flower weight no more, I'm putting on some weight. I'm already back up to 150, 152. So yeah, I cut some weight. So I enjoy food. I feel like what we do, especially what we do to our bodies, we deserve to at least, indulge when we want to. My biggest thing is I love like just big portions of food, and I love sugar, like soda, gushers, fruit roll-ups. That's my thing. That's my only bad thing on my diet. But I love big portions. I love just like I'll eat a whole bowl of pasta again and again until I'm overly satisfied. I don't know why I'm like this. Like I'll be full, but I smoke a little weed, and I'll be overly satisfied, and I just eat again and eat again. I'm like, yo, if I wasn't an athlete, Jesus, my poor body.
Well, before we get just totally food channel on everybody for the rest of the interview, you beat Shawn Johnson. It's a rear naked choke. I mean, as if there's any other finish that you've been pulling off so far here in your professional career. So take us to the fight, actually. Take us to Indiana. Tell us about the experience, first time under that promotion, what everything was like.
Oh, like I said in the beginning too, they was very professional. They took care of us from the start. Since I signed the contract, they took care of me. The commission was really cool. The referee, everybody was a super great promotion. It was my comeback fight. I lost to Zaruk in Bellator. He's currently in the UFC, doing well for himself now. Shawn Johnson, yeah, he had a good career. He's a judo brown belt, 10-3 as a kickboxer, 6-1 as an amateur, 2-2 as a pro. Karate black belt as well as a judo brown belt. So I knew I had, a tough opponent. And he's tall. He's like 5'8". I said I'm 5'7", but he was taller than me, way taller than me, and lean. So tough opponent. I feel like his last fight he fought a BJJ black belt, and he beat him to decision. I just feel like when it comes to like submission grappling, I attack so many from different angles. I know how to attack. I know how to really finish my submissions. And I feel like a lot of guys will have a problem with me on the ground when I get them there.
95 seconds, was that enough to show developments in your game, or was this vintage Tevin Dyce? I'm just going to go out there, do what I do, take this guy out. No need to show you guys any new tricks. I can save those for when I really need them.
I mean, I don't know, man. To be honest, I really wanted to stay in the feet more. I really wanted to get a little more experience in there, but in the heat of the battle, it's just instinct, man. Like when I get a hold of somebody, I don't give them no space. So my brain, I was trying to be like, okay, relax a little bit. But as soon as I got a hold of him, and I knew I could take him down to the ground, I was like, let me just see how far I could take it. Next thing you know, I was on his back. And I feel like if I get anybody's back, I could sink in the rear naked choke. I've been doing it since I was a teenager. And I just know how to set it up really, really well. And, I wanted the experience, but then again, it's also cool to have four first-round finishes and continue in that streak of people thinking I'm excited because I'm not just gonna hold you down, take you down. If we go to the ground, they're gonna know I'm dangerous, And now they only think I have a rear naked choke, but I have a whole arsenal of good submissions. So it's just trying to build a resume, and hopefully getting the opportunity again, could be getting the call.
No developments and improvements to speak of on the feet, right? Right. Just a grappler.
Just a grappler. Just a grappler. They keep thinking I'm just a grappler, but you know, my striking is very well, very clean, very crisp. And I spent these last 2 years focusing just on my striking, where I move well, I switch stances well. Even in the fight, you can see in the first minute, you know, I'm moving like not like a grappler, I'm moving like a striker. So to me, it's like I I finally found that middle edge where it's just I know when to strike, I know when to be comfortable. Everybody can look good on pads, but it's different when you get in there and you can know how to strike comfortably. Now these last 2 years working with Gibson, working with Coach Harry, working with all Cowboys coaches, you know, a lot of these coaches, so just relax and go for skill. And then you start seeing more things. Then you start taking your time. So now I take my time. You know, my good friend Rodney, he taught me a lot in my striking. Just me and him holding pads, striking, is moving together, just footwork. Now I just slow it down, take my time, and I feel like I'm a dangerous striker because I'm so good at grappling. So I can throw what I want, and I can throw as hard as I want and as ruthless as I want. Because if you take me down, then you're in my domain anyway. So it's kind of like I have a double-edged sword in my arsenal now.
Is there a comfortability then with going to the grappling in this sense that you're not pressing it? You're not feeling that you're forcing it. You're going into it because you see the opportunity.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like the better I got at striking, the more I was like, I don't have to rush takedowns no more. I feel like early in my career, I knew I was so good at grappling that if I get a hold of these guys, I could take them down. But then if the person knows they're gonna shoot, they would prepare for it. So as I fought the top level guys, it was much harder for me to just go out there and just try to just bum rush them and bulldog and bully them. Now I know you got to think smart first, be methodical, move well before I go for my takedown. So now I'm comfortable on my feet where I'm like, all right, if you don't want to give me the takedown, I could just go on the feet with you, and eventually it's gonna come. Eventually I'm gonna grab you, and then we're gonna have a problem.
It had been over 2 years since you had been in the cage. What did it mean to you just to be able to have the opportunity, have the experience again, to get in there and test yourself? Because you've mentioned Rodney, a couple other people. It had to have got boring to be just hitting each other for the last 2 years.
Yeah, man, that's what I mean. When I always say you can't compare your journey to anybody else's. A lot of people was getting fights, and I was all right. I was getting ducked on. I was getting fights pulled out. I was getting whole cards canceled. So I was like, you know what? My time will come, and I've always been training these last 2 years. People, because they might say because COVID took a year from everybody, but the extra year on that, the side, I was trying to get fights, but I always was training. I always would get my body right. I was always in the best shape possible. So I feel like, it may look like I've been off for 2 years, but I've been learning for 2 years. I've been training for 2 years. I feel like my body is in better shape than it was 2 years ago. Because now I'm in my prime. I'm growing into myself. I'm learning when to relax, when to explode, when to be calm, when to start lifting. I'm putting on weight now, so I feel like I'm a bigger 25er than I even was before. And I'm just more smarter. I'm just mature. I think this is my peaking stage.
I gotta wonder, was it relief or elation getting the victory? Because I know from an athlete perspective, it had to bother you sitting on that L as the last competition for a while. I know you grappled and stuff, but Bellator was a bigger stage and you had to sit on that.
Yeah, being just a competitor and an athlete, just me, like I love challenges, and I love being somebody that's, always going to look to, get the best out of myself. I've never been scared of challenges. If I ever did something and I lost at it, or if it was hard, it made me just want to go harder the next day. It made me want to just get it back. It made me I was just never like losing. So coming off a 2-year loss and just been having to take that L, especially, not in like in a jealousy way or nothing like that. I wish Saru the best in his career, but taking that L and then the guy that beat you immediately gets signed to the UFC afterwards, and he's having a good career in the UFC. It's like, damn, bro, I was right there. We have the same record. I just had to, tweak some things here. I just gotta, so that's the only thing that it was just weighing on me. You know, like I was so close to my lifelong childhood dream, and I literally, you know, some people don't even know what it feels like to have a goal. But I feel like one of the worst feelings in the world is to have a goal and to have it in your hand, to grasp it, and nobody else but you mess it up. So then you feel all the pressure, the depression. Like I've had this dream since I was a teenager, and I had opportunity to obviously get one more thing, and you fall short. It's one of the most painful things. But I'd rather try than not have anything to fight for at all anyway.
Now, also, since we've last saw you, there's been a transition. You're back home, back up there in New York. I don't know if you've had the time to really sit there and take account of it, but how much different now of a fighter, martial artist, of a man are you after having spent that couple years down here in the Southwest growing?
Well, I mean, you know, I'm really grateful that I moved to Albuquerque. I met my beautiful girlfriend over here, but I feel like growing up in New York City, I needed to see what people live like somewhere else. And people that live in New York City, I feel like they really need to move out, or even if you don't live, if you live in Albuquerque, move somewhere else, at least for 6 months or a year. You have to understand how other people in the world live, because I feel like the world is so big, but we're so stuck in our circle. Where all we see is what we know. And there's many people that I know that haven't even left New York City. And like it's, you know, so seeing how people live in Albuquerque will forever change my life, because it's a whole different world to me. It was a whole different atmosphere, a whole different culture, a whole different it was just I don't know. You're about to raise your hand. What does that mean? But it said on the Zoom thing. But
I don't know if that's saying.
But yeah, I feel like just learning it, man. And I've never had tacos that good before in my life, to be honest. So it's just a lot of good things. I've met so many great people. I've gotten so many great connections. You know, brotherhood, familyhood. You know, lifelong relationships that I've met in Albuquerque. That it's to me to think now that I would have never met these people if I didn't move out there. It's crazy. You know how small life, little things could change your life. I met Harry. Harry moved out there. I moved out there, and I built lifelong relationships, love. It's real how if I just would have never came out, I would have never had many of these people. You know.
And I gotta know now, already just being back home for a little bit, how much you already appreciate the lack of traffic we have here.
Bro, I hate it. I hate New York City, to be honest. I love New York City. My family's here. But if you was to tell me a lot of things I love about New York City, it would just be selfishly things. My family, food, money. That's it. Like New York City is, you do not want to raise a family here. You can't relax here. You can't breathe here. You can't be happy here. It's gonna be cold soon. You stuck in traffic. Everybody's rushing. There's no parking. There's no parking. There's no parking. There's no parking. I hate New York City, yo. I hate it. I hate it so much. Albuquerque it was so much easier way of life. The rent was 3 times cheaper for 3 times more of the space. You get a parking spot. You get a pool. You get a jacuzzi. All your complex. I could leave my house anytime I want to come back. I can't. If I come home and find parking before 5 o'clock, that's lucky. If I leave my house after 5 o'clock, it's miserable. It's miserable. You have to fight for parking, literally.
Oh, so you're getting good sparring rounds, is what you're telling me.
I'm getting good sparring rounds in the street more than I am in the gym for a parking spot. I hate it here. Serious, yo. Fuck.
And on the gym side, is there much of a transition going back home, getting used to a no schedule, getting used to the gyms that you, is it a multitude of gyms now that you visit out there?
Yeah, I go to multiple gyms. Shout out to our legends, MMA. My boys Adam and Mike, Warriors Nation, Animals MMA. I do most of my heavy sparring. Essential Jiu-Jitsu with JT Torres. Yeah, the thing, Albuquerque, at least Jackson Wing had at least the mostly MMA stuff you could do in-house. Just all in one place. And then you have to go somewhere for your jiu-jitsu still, stiff conditioning. So yeah, in New York City, they have gyms that do everything, but I go to a little more specific gyms for my, like, I feel like New York City and California and Texas have the best jiu-jitsu in the world. So I'm fortunate to be able to roll with some of the best guys and have some of the best jiu-jitsu here. We got good Muay Thai, good sparring, so everything is really falling into place pretty well.
Okay, you've already established. I was going to assume that your favorite 3 letters were NYC, but you've already said that you hate that place. So I understand it's RNC. Tell us why you've devoted and how you've devoted such a specialty at taking dudes' necks when you're on their back.
I don't know, man. I just when I was a teenager, and John Donahan and these guys at Renzo Gracie, that was what they was really just good at. They was really good at taking guys' backs, the way they could do the seatbelt and all that. So the straight jacket lock. So as a kid, I think I learned from some of the best people. So my game has always been of the best lineage. So one of our things where it's like you choose 5 submissions and you draw those 5 submissions over and over. So I drew my 5 submissions. Like I have a rear naked choke, I have a good triangle, good Kimura system. That instead of me trying to do 100 other BS submissions where, it's like Bruce Lee said, I wouldn't fear a man that could throw 1,000 kicks as much as I would fear a man that could throw one kick 1,000 times, So you know what I'm saying? So, I feel like I choose these moves and I find every way possible how to entry that move, how to draw that move until up until a point where now it's second nature. I get your back, I get you in a body triangle. I know I'm gonna have you there for the whole round at least. And I know if you give me any inch, I'm gonna choke you out. Whether it's on your jaw, your neck, I have a system of it, and I think I'm one of the best rear naked chokers in the game. And I will keep proving it. Because they know I'm gonna do it at this point, So
The perfect guy for me to get to ask this stuff about. And man, I'm most disappointed that you moved when you did because I never got to go Grapple Fest with you, and I thought that was going to be hilarious.
We did commentate the other one. We did commentate the other guy, the other first one.
Yeah, that's why we had to do a whole event though. They needed
had to do a whole event.
I wanted to ask you, because you have the technical ability to break it down. If you could throw it out real quick, I'm sure you've watched. What makes Sean Brady so good at back control?
Sean Brady, the guy from Philly, CFC?
Yeah. The way, if you didn't see, he manhandled Michael Chiesa.
Yeah, my Chiesa, right?
Yeah.
I think because he's training with Daniel Gracie at Renzo Gracie Philly. I think it's the same thing. You're gonna escape. I'm just gonna go to your back. Off the 2-on-1 grip he had. It was I love that fight. And Sean Brady, also was an affiliate at Renzo Gracie. It's kind of the same back take system. And Damien Maya has a very good system as well. I just watched some of his video. And it's kind of similar as well, where you being on somebody's back, not getting too high, keeping your hips right on their hips, keeping your head right underneath their head, and just tracing and riding them and grinding them up until the point where I'm not using no energy. I'm just kind of like chasing you and feeling like a heavy bag on you. I think Sean Brady's gonna be one of the best welterweights, in the game.
And on that same note, what did you think about Charles Oliveira and his finish of Dustin Poirier?
Dirty. But Charles' body type fits for that. He's like, if you look up Charles Oliveira's body type, his legs are so long, his arms are so long, and his squeeze is probably ridiculously strong because of all the length, and he's been grappling. I think right now he's the best lightweight in the division. A lot of people doubt him because Dustin, but what if it's Dustin? He's gonna do worse to Justin. You know what I'm saying? And Justin is not known for his jiu-jitsu. Dustin Poirier is still a black belt as well. And Charles is very did that to him. Now, all of this makes me wonder, just because I'm a competitor myself, is how it Khabib would have dealt with him. On the feet, Oliveira is technically the cleaner striker. Khabib probably has more power, but Oliveira is more clean. And Khabib can't just rush in and take downs. Oliveira is do a guillotine, or it's going to be real jiu-jitsu. So I really wonder how that fight would go, and I wonder how. I feel like if Oliveira gets past Justin, Islam Makhachev versus Oliveira is a good way to see how that fight would have probably went with Khabib.
Oh man, exactly. Those are all.
In a perfect world, Oliveira beats Islam. Khabib gets mad, comes back.
Dude, that would be a lot of fun. But I fear I've already seen a Portuguese podcast where Oliveira was talking about that McGregor money, so that could throw everything out of whack. I want the
F.
payday.
Conor McGregor, man. I'm sick of Conor McGregor having won a fight and like, come on. The last fight he won was against Cowboy. That only lasted like 13 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
During Oliveira's 10-fight win streak, McGregor has one win.
Yeah, you know, let's if anything it should be Dustin just got beat. It should be Justin Gaethje. Then it should be Islam Makhachev. And if we all get what we want, Charles Oliveira beats Islam, says something disrespectful to Khabib. Khabib asks his mom for permission. He comes back. Oliveira beats him too. And then that's it. And that's it.
That'd be a lot of fun. We know
that was shocking.
Hey, that'd be great, but Habib's making big moves there with that Eagle Fight Club he has also.
Yeah, he's making big money. I heard that's a good promotion. Ray Borg is fighting on that joint.
Yeah, I saw that. And man, he's got 165 and left 175. I love that move. I love that.
Yeah. I seen that. He's adding 165 division, 175 division. Well, 175. So is he gonna take out 170? Okay, so there's no 155 and there's no 170.
No, it's gonna be 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 205, and heavyweights is what he's gonna do in his promotions.
Also, no 25s on, asshole.
But no 25s right now.
At least he got a 35 division.
Yeah, at least he said he's gonna do 35. So and you're talking about Oliveira having the body type. I'm like, ain't that kind of the thing you got going on there at 25?
Yeah,
right now?
125. I'm pretty much like pretty tall and skinny, and that's I'm good at having a body triangle and good at throwing elbows. I'm pretty long and skinny as well. You know, but Oliveira's like really perfect for 155. Like if I had like 2 inches more in height, I would be goofy. I'll probably go 135 to be honest.
Oh shit! And then also, I don't know if you saw the very first fight on the card from the early prelims. It was Jillian Robertson submitted Priscilla Cachoeira. Dude, Cachoeira was going deep into the skull, trying to gouge out the eye to get out of the rear naked.
Oh no, I saw that. I didn't see the fight, but I saw her digging in her finger. Someone sent me the meme. That was crazy. Yeah,
you gotta tell me, for a grappler, how dirty is that?
That's dirty as not more than that's dirty as anybody. If you do that to me, we fight outside. If you do that to me while I'm choking you, I'm putting you to sleep. And I shouldn't get in trouble for that. I should not. I just got new eyes. I spent money on my eyes. If you dig your finger in my eyes as I'm choking you, I should be able to put you to sleep.
Oh yeah, shit! You can see this fight. I forgot about that. How was that?
Yo, I didn't even think about that too. It's a whole different ballgame having this eye surgery, be able to see. Before I would just guess. Oh, there you go. That's it. Now I'm like, oh, I see it. Actually, I remember it being in the cage because I walked out first. Usually before, I would never be able to see my opponent walk out. This was the first time I saw my opponent. As soon as he came from the curtain, I was like, oh, this is nice. I could see my opponent as soon as he walked in the cage. I could see him getting greased stuff. I was like, oh, say less. This is gonna be nice. I used to be, by then I'll be sprinting like, all right, okay, and then I just go out there and try to get close possible in fighting. But no, the best thing I've ever done for myself, the best investment, is fixing my eyesight. Especially doing what I do is fighting. I don't know why I just didn't just. I tried when I was younger, but they said I was too young. This is the best thing I've ever done. It feels amazing. Until I get poked in the eye, then it's like, oh hell. Yeah.
That happens. It's the end of the year. It's a great way to close it out with a victory. I'm sure you got the holidays and New Year's plans coming up. 2022. What's the professional plans?
2022. First, I'm gonna do a professional grappling match January 29th, and then I'm hoping to fight professional again for MMA fight February 26th, and then I want to get another MMA fight April 22nd, and hopefully that should be all I need to get my call to Contender Series or in the door. I feel like if I can get 2 more finishes, especially in the first round, 6-2, they can't deny me because they're getting guys in 3-0, 4-0, 4-2. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I have a great management company, and they're the ones that always getting these guys in. So Contender Series. So by April, hopefully I'm 6-2 all finishes, and then we'll see what this summer's looking like.
COVID kind of forced everybody. It forced you really off basically for these 2 years because 1 year was lost. The other year, 6 months of it, UFC and Bellator were the only ones running shows. But did it also open a door now where it seems like it's almost easier to get to one of those companies because now they're just trying to suck up everybody on a win streak?
Yeah, I feel like just the newer generation now is a little easier because we got Contender Series for the guys that listen fights and just want to get in Contender. We got like, you know, looking for a fight. You got Tough still. You got some most times now. You got when they're just trying to get people in, just get them in quick. You know, so that's not bad.
He's Tevin Dyce. He chirps people out in the first round, and he hates to try to park around his apartment.
That is all true. True. And I love soda.
I'm gonna have to send you the website my nephew showed me. All kinds of exotic sodas from throughout the world, man. What's the last?
Oh, I've been to the Coca-Cola factory in Atlanta. Oh man, that was beautiful. Yeah, I've been there 3 times actually.
Man, you probably looked as happy as I did at the M&M World the other day.
Facts. But yeah, man. Always great talking to you, man. I appreciate the love, appreciate the support. I can't wait to see what next year holds for us. Me and you, man. Hope you just shine. Hope you get to do bigger shows, bigger events. Hope I'm in those bigger shows and bigger events one day, and then we can look back and say, hey, man, remember that time Albuquerque? We was in the house, we were having fun. You're the best, Mika.
Definitely. Tevin, thank you for the time.
Thank you, brother. Have a good night.